Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to today's video. Today we're doing kind of a mini review on Modern Warfare 2 because I've been playing it when I just have been playing it when I've had time. I haven't really been playing too much Ironsight, mostly because I did get sick, and then this game came out, and yeah, just fun time. So I do want to start by preference. I do want to start by saying I actually am really enjoying this year's Call of Duty in a weird way, in like the weirdest way possible. Like, you just have to not play it like the previous Call of Duties that we had like the last 3 years, right? It's completely different flow. So yeah, let's start with some of the good things that I like about this game. Probably my favorite thing about the game right now is the weapon progression system. I actually really enjoy the weapon progression where, you know, you have to use one gun to level up another gun and vice versa, things like that. Attachments maybe a little too much, you know, but once you get an attachment for one weapon, you can use it on any weapon as long as you have that category unlocked for that gun. So yeah, the sight I'm using in the clips right now is from a shotgun that you unlock at like level 6 or 7, and then you can use it on any gun, and it's just absolutely goated. So it gives you an incentive to use other things. So yeah, rather than just stick to one thing once you max it out. So another thing, I actually do really enjoy the maps. This map that we're seeing right now, Tarek, it's actually probably one of my favorite maps in the entire game. I always get a good flow on it, if that makes sense. You know, so I don't have people camping, or people aren't really camping too often in this map, except on certain buildings, but you can get them off of that pretty easily. So the maps themselves are actually decently made, but that's also a downside because at least half the maps just encourage such a very camper play style, where the rest of the maps, you know, you can rush, you can move. Like, I'm slowly moving around the map because that's how you're supposed to play the game now, is you know, you can still full on rush like you did in previous Call of Duties like 2019 or Vanguard, but your success rate kind of goes down a lot more than in those games. The weapon balance, Infinity Ward, I guess this is considered a positive right now because every weapon is pretty usable. Some of them are very rough at the start, but then they, you know, with attachments they get pretty insane. I mean, that's kind of a bad thing as well, because I mean, Infinity Ward, I feel like always has this philosophy of if everything's overpowered, then nothing's overpowered. So pretty give or take, hit or miss. As you can see, the 74U, I got a nuke with it in the beginning. I didn't get the rest of those clips because I just wasn't really going for clips, and it just randomly happened, and I got a nuke with this gun. So that's how good this gun is. And it's an AR and not an SMG in this game. Next, I do want to talk about some of the negatives. I mean, the time to kill in this, that's probably the weapon balance, where, like I said, Infinity Ward says if everything's overpowered, nothing's overpowered. You die insanely fast in this game, which is why rushing around like it's Vanguard is not doable, right? For some reason, Vanguard still, you could rush around super hard. The movement was crazy. You can move in there and you wouldn't get too punished like you do in this game. This game is insane. The aim down sight speed for all the weapons seems so slow, except for this specific sniper that I have, or any sniper really. All of the snipers seem to just absolutely blow every single weapon away with their aim down sight speed, and because they're one hit kills to pretty much anywhere, it's kind of dumb. The perk system is another negative thing that I don't really enjoy too often. It's just so dumb in a way. Like, cool, they try to innovate, you get 4 perks, that's awesome, you get 4 things, you know, but realistically 90% of players are running Cold-Blooded Ghost as their last 2 perks, so you're not really changing the perks or anything like that. You're just giving people lots of ways to do things that don't really matter, because, you know, everybody's choosing Cold-Blooded Ghost. So yeah, it's just weird. Some people use quick fix like me and fast hands, but yeah, cold-blooded goes really basically towards the end of every game, so UAVs are useless. Visual recoil is a really weird one. You know, I feel like the way that they balance the game to have visual recoil instead of actual recoil, that kind of sucks, right? Since your gun just bounces and that's not actually bouncing, it just looks like it, so you try to compensate and you end up missing a ton. Yeah, that sucks. Lastly, one of the negatives in my opinion, and as you can see how I'm playing, I'm like aiming down sights, slowly moving, and it's the next thing I wanted to talk about is the movement, dude. So the movement is just atrocious. They slowed this game down so much, like it's insane how badly they slowed this game down, just so that, you know, rushing really isn't that effective, just so quote-unquote movement gods aren't out here running around, you know, dumping onto me no thumbs. So yeah, pretty sucky that the movement got nerfed this hard. As you can see, my submachine gun aim down sight speed is 12 times slower than any assault rifle or sniper rifle, just because I have a certain barrel on it. But the barrel does make it insane. Holy moly, let me tell you guys that much. It actually lets me use this at range, so that's pretty cool. As you can see, like with the gameplay, we're not full on head to the wall rushing. We're slowly moving around the map. However, we're not sitting in one spot all the time, and that I think is kind of like the next thing that goes with the movement, and that's how the player base is reacting to this system, right? So most of the player base kind of just doesn't move, like, at all. In this specific match where we're seeing clips from, there was one guy that just sat on top of one thing the entire time. He never moved anywhere. He just kept going up there and that's it. So it's a crazy thing that they nerfed it like that much, so that, you know, you have to play way more defensive. No reason why, I feel personally, but they definitely should think about maybe easing up on the jumping aim down sights nerf, as well as just overall aim down sights nerf, to have those players, you know, that are moving around not be so detrimental for them to move around. So yeah, but that's just my thoughts. Lastly, of course, this is a negative, is the matchmaking they have going on. This is kind of, I say, the best for last type of deal. Yeah, the matchmaking in this game is atrocious. It's so bad. I feel like it's worse than any other Call of Duty that we've had, just because what seems to be happening is it's kind of more the engagement based matchmaking, rather mixed with a little bit of the skill based matchmaking in a way. And I'm not even gonna touch on the rumored patent that they have, where Call of Duty made a new patent for some sort of matchmaking algorithm or game algorithm, I don't know what it was, where it literally like nerfs you while you're playing the game if you're doing too good. No idea if that's in there, but you know, connections seem a lot more shoddy this time around than previous. So back to the matchmaking part. So the game kind of gives you, in a way, like I said, engagement based and skill based, half and half. But what it does is, if you go ahead and are somehow able to get into a full game, like one that's barely starting, you can do whatever you want. Whatever you do, if you do good in that game, that's when it's gonna kick it up a notch. If you do okay, terrible, it might put you in another game not in progress, or maybe a game in progress on the winning team this time. But if you do happen to do good, you're going to get absolutely hammered next game. And I don't mean personally hammered, like you're not going to die a ton if you're a good player. What it's going to do is it's going to put you on the losing team, losing game, losing team, and your team is getting absolutely stomped on, right? So because they are getting stomped on, the enemy has streaks. 100% the enemy has streaks. They have VTOLs, they have SAEs, they just keep popping streaks because your team keeps getting destroyed. So skill-based matchmaking doesn't necessarily in this game put you against players that are at your skill level or better. However, it kind of makes it so you get on a team that clearly is not going to win. Like, the other team just has way better odds of winning. It's kind of like, in the best way, Ironsight, but times 10, right? I've found a way to not let this bother me by every time I get in game in progress, I just leave the game. And that's resulted in like a mini shadow ban from time to time where I go to quick play and my ping, it says searching for games up to like 120 ms is the closest thing it's searching for. So yeah, anyway guys, pretty fun game overall. Running in parties probably makes it better, but that's gonna be it for the review, guys. I don't recommend getting it at full price for sure, but if you do see it on sale, maybe $40, something like that, sure, why not? It's a good time, it's a fun time, and realistically, I mean, it's an okay game to play. Like I said, it's a fun game. I'm having fun, weirdly enough, and I like that it's something in a way new that we have to kind of adjust. And when I say adjust, I mean adjust and not just camp, right? You still need to move around the map. You still need to get those sick flanks and those flicks as well. So yeah guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video and the review. Let me know what you guys think of Call of Duty if you guys have played it this year. But yeah guys, that's gonna be it. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll get back to some Ironsight content here in a bit. Just taking a small break, just because real life stuff is a lot more. But yeah guys, I'll see you next time.